Hello, my name is Sezer Kutluk. With my colleague Marzio Vece, we are going to talk about our work called Designing Trust, Generative AI across risk tiers that we have been working on at Scuola Normale Superiore. This project is about guidelines and practical implementations for AI applications based on large language models in limited and high-risk scenarios. We have two use cases. The first one is a trustworthy generative AI chatbot for public administration, and the second one is compliance with the EU AI Act in high-risk applications, specifically recruitment using LLMs. The AI Act classifies AI applications into different risk groups. While recruitment is considered a high-risk application, chatbots are considered limited risk, which requires that the users should be aware that they are interacting with an AI system. However, trustworthiness is essential in public administration to ensure reliable service delivery and retain the reputation of public administration organizations. Therefore, the first use case was based on the ethics guidelines for trustworthy AI by the EU High-Level Expert Group on AI, which provides ethical principles and key requirements for AI applications. In the chatbot use case, we have worked on designing a generative AI chatbot for public administration employees in Italy to enable them to easily navigate technical documents within their organization. Here we have a number of challenges. For instance, the language used in the documents can be highly technical, which the employees do not easily understand. Another issue is the knowledge cutoff limits of pre-trained LLMs, resulting in outdated information and hallucinations. Therefore, after careful considerations and trustworthiness analyses, we chose an approach based on retrieval-augmented generation, which offers several advantages: no knowledge cutoff limits, reduced hallucinations, enhanced transparency, and cost efficiency. When designing the pipeline, we evaluated different embedding models, query expansion techniques, retrieval strategies, and prompting methods. Other possible pipelines, such as using an LLM with in-context learning or fine-tuning, have drawbacks, such as continuous training costs, relying on outdated information, and hallucinations. The details of the approach, along with experimental results, can be found in our publications. Now my colleague Marzio will take it from here to introduce the second use case.
When passing from a limited risk application such as a chatbot to a high risk application such as recruitment, you have to overcome a huge step with additional requirements such as a risk management system, data quality, automatic system of logs, instruction for use, interpretability of outputs, human oversight for responsible decision making, and appropriate level of accuracy, robustness, and cybersecurity. All these requirements must be documented and justified. And we do so through the lenses of our recruitment pipeline, where we have different resumes and a job description, and we want to align the resumes to the job description and discover which are the candidates that are more suitable to the job, and then should be interviewed by a human recruiter. However, we inject this in this pipeline in the parsing operation and in the scoring operation a closed LLM. And you can understand that the use of a closed LLM can impact the overall compliance because of the opacity of the system and the lack of interpretability of outputs. We discuss and study this problem with a co-design approach with an industrial partner, where we share a common terminology. Then we go towards the production of guiding questions that are tailored to aid compliance team and developer teams in triggering compliance with respect to before mentioned requirements. And then we identify the compliance gaps. These compliance gaps are cannot be solved only by the downstream high-risk provider, but can be solved only with a collaboration between upstream GPI providers and downstream providers. However, there's usually a high power asymmetry between these two actors, and to close the problem, the compliance gap problem, we propose contractual closed families and contractual safeguards. Finally, we have developed a proof of concept for the trustworthy generative AI chatbot for public administration, and we developed compliance toolkit with guiding questions, and we propose contractual closed families to close the compliance gap. We publish many papers, and others are following. Thank you very much.